Welcome to another interesting tutorial, dear creatives. So in this class we'll be learning how to make this beautiful flared gown. So the first thing we want to do is to fold our fabric in a bias format, which I've done already, and then insert a line for our shoulder. So this is called the shoulder line. So I ensure that it is up to 7.5 in width because my shoulder width is 15 inches. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing I want to do is to mark out my neck width and my neck depth. I'm simply cutting the back first. So the back neck depth is 1 inch. That means from the shoulder line, I went down by 1 inch and then went in by 3 inches to get my neck width. Now I am linking the neck width to the neck depth. So I've gotten my back neckline. After that, I went to the end of the shoulder and sloped it down by 1 inch. So after the sloping, I'm now reconnecting it to the neck depth. Okay. So now let's get where the shoulder will end. That's our armhole depth. The armhole depth is 8.5. So I'm simply marking the 8.5 here. So after marking the armhole depth of 8.5, I will also come here and insert my bust circumference divided by 4. But before then, I'm simply marking my shoulder width again so that I'll have my armhole line. Okay, so I marked the shoulder width, which I'll be connecting to the armhole line. Now I've also gone ahead and marked and curved out my armhole, marked my bust line and the bust circumference divided by 4. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing here is to mark out my waistline. Shoulder to waistline was 16. I have marked it. Then I'm inserting my waistline circumference divided by 4. I've marked and I'm adding 3 extra inches for ease. You can do more than that because the loops will be used to tighten that area later on. But for me, I did just 3 inches for ease. Okay. So after that, I've curved it also to the armhole area. The next thing we want to do now is to determine our full length and the width of our hem. Okay, so while folding your fabric in a bias format, the bias folding should determine how wide you want your hem to be. Okay, so for me, I folded according to what I wanted, and so this is the hem line. I'm now marking. I'll mark at this point and then link straight to the waistline like this. Can you see? So you can actually exhaust the entire folded hem, okay, depending on the width you want. Can you see what I'm doing? So after curving it like this, I'm simply cutting out, right? Remember, this is the back. Now we are simply done cutting out the back. I will be using the back to cut out the front. Okay, so the process, we will not need to be repeating the process again. Now here is the fabric that is left. I'll still be folding it in a bias format. Then I'll place the back on top of it to trace out my front. For the benefit of those who might not know what it means to fold in a bias format, it is simply to fold in a triangular way, okay? That's another word for it, in a triangular, in a diagonal form, okay? This time around, we are not folding the fabric straight, but in a triangular way, okay? That is a bias format. Can you see how it is going, okay? So that's how to fold in a bias format. Not straight, but a kind of triangular. Okay, here I have folded and I'm to bring the other pattern, the back. Okay, here is the back. I'll be placing it now on top of what I just folded. So here I'm done placing it accordingly. It's now time for us to adjust the front neckline. Okay, mind you, what we cut out first was the back. So the front neckline will not be the same with the back. For the front neckline, we'll be marking from the shoulder line down by 5 inches. Remember, for the back neckline, we went down by just 1 inch. So for the front, we'll be going down by 5 inches. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? I'm simply marking out the 5 inches point. So after that, I'll just fold the back a little this way and then link from the neck point to what I just marked now. Can you see? So I am done. Now is just to cut out accordingly. So follow me as I cut out the shape. And now we are done cutting out the neckline. The next thing we want to adjust is the shoulder slope. So for the shoulder slope for the back, we went down by 1 inch. For the front, we'll be doing 1.5, okay? So we'll still mark half an inch down to get our front shoulder slope. Can you see? So I have marked that half an inch down, okay? Since we have sloped the back already by 1, so marking half an inch down from the back will give us 1.5 slope for the front. Can you see? So we are done sloping also. Then for the armhole area too, we'll be going deeper a little by half an inch. Okay, so I'll mark half an inch inward like this from that point about the mid armhole area. Okay, or better still, I will arrange and come up from the original armhole by 3 inches. Can you see? Can you see the point? So I have marked that 3 inches point. I'm going in by half an inch from that 3 inches point I just marked. Okay, so and now I'm linking it back beautifully to get our front armhole curve. You know, the front armhole is curvier than the back. So that's what we are taking care of now. If you are used to drafting a basic bodice pattern, this will not be difficult for you. If you want to learn how to draft a basic bodice, please check the link in the description box so you can watch the video and be at the same pace with those of us who already know how to draft a basic bodice. Okay, so here I'm done cutting out the armhole area, so I will just cut out every other part exactly the same. So the only difference was on the neckline. The only difference between the back and front was on the neckline, the shoulder slope, and the armhole slope. So we'll just cut out exactly the same on the rest parts and then we'll be done. Now for the sleeve, it's very easy. Just draft your basic sleeve pattern, fold your fabric still in a bias format, and place your basic sleeve pattern on it this way. Okay, so the folded part of your bias format should align with the edge of the basic sleeve, the folded part of the basic sleeve. Can you see? So I've aligned it accordingly. That's exactly what you should do. This is very easy. So after doing that, you mark out. This is a drafted pattern, so you'll be adding half an inch for sewing allowance. That's what I'm marking. I'm marking half an inch sewing allowance. Then for the hem area, you can mark 1 inch depending on how you want to finish the hem. Then the side of the sleeve, you just look at what I'm doing. You measure. Okay, the original sleeve width here is about 7.5 inches. That is 15 inches in width. Okay, so you will not use that 15 inches width to mark out. So you add about 3 more inches to the side, or even 5, depending on how wide you want it to be. Mind you, these 3 inches I'm adding is on fold, so I'm adding 6 inches, okay, to the original width of my basic sleeve. So if my original basic sleeve was 15 inches, now I'm getting 21 inches width. Okay, so for you to maintain that shape, you have to place it on a bias format. I hope you understand. Now I'll be cutting out the sleeve. And here our sleeve is also ready. I'll also cut out another sleeve like this, so we'll be having our 2 sleeves. Now let's move ahead to the main bodies. So here we are. We have our front pattern and our back patterns all cut out. So this is our back. Okay, so opening it up, you'll be seeing the front. Here is our front. Can you see? So now let's open up our back and then talk about the waistline and the waist loops, right? So there is the back, and then here with me is a 2 inches stripe. So this stripe was cut out in 2 inches, and then I folded it to give me 1 inch. Can you see? This is it. Opening it up, you have 2 inches. So folding it, it will give you 1 inch, and then you iron it to relax nicely. Then you now sew with half an inch on one side. So by the time you turn it over, it gives you half an inch in total. So that was how this stripe was created. Okay, so we'll be using this stripe to form our loops. So to get your loops, you measure your waist circumference from shoulder to waist circumference and mark. Okay, now after measuring shoulder to waist circumference, you can go down from your waist circumference by 1 inch. Okay, then go up by, okay, you can go down by 1 inch depending on what you want, but don't go down more than 1 inch so that the loop will not be tied on the wrong area. Okay, so go down from your original waist circumference by 1 or 1.5. 1.5 is not too bad, but I will not recommend 2 inches. For me, I just did 1 inch. Initially, I was marking 2 inches, but I didn't follow that. I went down by 1 inch from my waistline to place one loop. Then I placed one on my exact waistline. Then I went up again by 1 inch from my exact waistline. So that was how I placed them. Can you see how I'm placing the loops? Okay, so I'll just fold it over like this and then pin down. And here I'm simply done pinning the loops to both sides on the back, so I'll keep the back aside and then we start sewing. Okay, so for the front here, all we need to do is to cut out our facing. So to cut out the facing is easy. You just fold another fabric, place the front neckline area on top of the fabric. So you cut out the front neckline accordingly, okay? You cut out the front neckline and then you add some fabrics to cut out the facing. You will be doing the same thing for both the front and for the back. Now here we are. Can you see? So this is for the front. I have cut out the facing for the front. I'll be sewing here just to finish up the front neckline beautifully. And here is the back neckline. We'll be using this on the back. Now note that the front is a little bit deep. This is so that we can easily wear our dress. Okay, we do not have any other opening in this dress apart from just the deep neckline for the front. And here, as you can see, I'm done sewing it and I have also clipped so that the front neckline will relax. The neckline will be relaxed. Can you see? So this is it. I'll go over to my ironing table and press nicely, okay, to get a perfect neckline. And after that, we'll be joining the back to the front. So here is our back here. Note that we have also done the same thing to the back neckline. Can you see? We have attached the facing, clipped nicely, okay, and then flipped over. So after flipping over and ironing nicely, we want to now attach the front to the back on the shoulder area. So you need to watch me so that you can do this neatly when you are sewing yours. You can actually go ahead and do your serging or your weaving. Weave the inner part before you move on to this step, or you just follow suit with what I'm doing, okay? Now here is how to join the back and front shoulders neatly. So for the front, I'm holding both facing and main fabric together. While for the back, I'm not holding facing and main fabric together. Just watch me. Can you see? I'm holding facing and main fabric together for the front. Then for the back, I'm attaching the back main fabric to the front main fabric and facing. And then I'll open up the back facing to cover everything. Can you see? Okay, it is easy. Watch well, you'll be able to do yours. So let's quickly take it again. When you are doing yours, you are holding 1, 2, and 3 together, and then you bring the fourth, which is the facing for the back, to cover up like this. Can you see? So now everything is held together, but the back facing is used to cover up. Okay, we brought it forward, so to say, and now we just sew accordingly. So here we are done sewing. Let's open up and see the effects. Okay, can you see? Look at the inside. Can you see how beautiful it is? It is beautifully finished. The neckline is relaxing. Okay, so this is it. This is how to join back and front shoulders together, okay, to get a beautifully finished dress. So I'll be doing this same thing on the other shoulder before we continue. And here we are having both shoulders done beautifully. Okay, so we are now done joining the shoulders, back and front shoulders. Our dress is gradually forming. The next thing we need to do is to join the sides. Joining the sides is quite easy. You just align the armhole, back and front armhole correctly and then join. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, I'm getting to the waistline area where the loops are being pinned down at the back. So when you get to this point, you need to be careful so you do not break your needle. You gradually remove each pin as you are stitching on the loop. Okay. Now, dear creatives, as you can see here, I'm done joining both sides, front and back. So our dress is almost set. Okay, can you see? Look at the loops on one side and on the other side too, the same thing. Now, here with me is also another cord which I've prepared that I will be using to tie the loops to the back. So I have flipped it over and now I want to loop them in place so we can tie beautifully. So this is what our back dress looks like after tying the loops. As you can see, flipping it over, take a look at the waistline area on the front. The waistline has been reduced. This is the essence of the loops. Okay. What is left for us to do is to join our sleeves. Here are our sleeves. You remember how these sleeves were cut out. If you do not know how to draft a basic sleeve, I'll be dropping the link in the description box also so that you watch and you'll be able to draft this sleeve. Okay, so I'll be attaching the sleeves now by the sides. I'll sew to completion and then you'll see the finished result. Now, this is what the front view of our dress looks like. Okay, take a look at it. Look at the sleeve. It's so beautiful. It's giving. At this point, if you have learned anything from this video, please give the video a thumbs up, share the video, and also if you are yet to subscribe to our channel, do well to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our free but detailed tutorials. Wait for the back. Honestly, this dress is giving all that it was meant to give. Okay, take a look at the back now. Can you see how beautiful it is on my Mary dress form, on my Mary mannequin? The owner of the dress will still come for test fitting. I'll show you the result of how it looks on her body. However, this is what it looks like on our mannequin. Okay. Thanks for watching our videos. Thanks for always being there for us, our old subscribers. If you have a tutorial you want me to do for you, kindly drop in the comment section. Let me choose randomly. Tell us what you want me to teach in my next video.